I'm muted. Was I muted that whole time? Oh man, it's been a day, y'all. Um, but yeah, like Doctor Strange was a really good movie. Um, very much, I would watch it again. It had a lot of surprises, a lot of stuff that I didn't see that I saw like really quick. Um, that I saw really quick, and I didn't really get a chance to um to really like take it in. But I did see the hold on, guys. D- Dora's working with me here, and I really it's unfortunate we kind of ran into these issues. Uh, but yeah, Moon Knight. I did enjoy the finale of Moon Knight. I'm not gonna spoil anything for anybody that hasn't seen it yet. I will say that I get what they were doing now because I Moon Knight. If you know anything about Moon Knight, it was very much a Batman analog, and it was basically just Batman, brutal, vigilante out there taking out people left and right. But it seems like what they wanted to do with the TV show was lean into the Egyptian background and the identity, dissociative identity disorder. Um, I, sorry guys, I'm literally chatting with you and chatting with Dora at the same time. But but yeah, Moon Knight, great was a good ending to it. It was nothing like what I thought it was going to be though. Like I really thought it was going to be like a brutal vigilante beating up everybody deal, and it really wasn't. It was very much a story about a broken man being used by forces greater than than he could comprehend. And I like that slant to it. So that's why I liked it. But I know a lot of people that I know will say that I like anything Marvel does. So, I don't know what to tell you. I thought it was a good story. Um, hey man, like I said, I'm trying to get through a lot of stuff because the Dave Chappelle thing, man. I just saw that the guy who actually did who assaulted Dave. For those that don't know, Dave Chappelle was assaulted on stage while he was giving a show, and and his entourage and celebrity friends all beat the living snot out of the guy. I'm sure you've seen the picture with the dude's arm all bent out of shape. Um, uh, Stop jumping on stages, people. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like that's not a great thing to do. Like you know, um, yeah, stop jumping on stages. This isn't a Will Smith thing. This is somebody who had clearly had mental issues, and really thought would that he maybe wouldn't be hurt. Because it was a celebrity, he thought he'd probably just get dragged out. But that's not the way to go about it, man. Um, all right, so Dora is gonna since we're having the technical difficulties, Miss Avila is gonna reschedule, and we'll work this out for another time. And I really sad that this didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Yeah, this just didn't work out the way I wanted it to, and I do apologize to everybody, but we're gonna make it work, and you get to listen to some of the things that I have to say. Um, um, so yeah, another thing I saw this week, and I know Morgan, my Morgan from Top Five Live, he wanted to talk about it, and I watched the ATL episode, and I keep saying ATL, the Atlanta episode where 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 black people, it was basically like reparations, right? Like it was like, black people were suing uh uh they were suing the descendants they were suing the descendants of the slave masters who enslaved their 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 ancestors, which I thought was amazing and really really interesting take on reparations. Like it was, I would have never looked at it like that. Like, but the way they did it was really cool because they did it through the perspective of the white person. And the episode is like weeks old, so if I'm spoiling it, I'm sorry if you haven't watched it. It's been like a month. Sorry, watch the show. Um, but yeah, the perspective was the of a white guy who's getting sued by by a woman, and she's just hounding him. She's at his job with a bullhorn talking about, he's a slave owner and everything like that. um and I really thought it was an interesting way. But what really worked for me was there's a scene in it where they have like two of the white guys, the main white guy that we've been following, and another white guy he happens to meet at a bar, and they no worries, Dora, we'll work it out. We'll work it out. Um, but anyway, the two guys are talking, and one of the guy, I guess he's being sued as well, but he puts his scenario in a way, he puts himself out there to say to the guy, basically, it's the least you can do to just take it, because the other guy is trying to avoid the situation and whatnot, wherefore, and he's just it. So the guy, and if you haven't seen it, whatever, I'm going to spoil the ending for you. um the other guy ends up the other guy ends up shooting himself in the head and killing himself, which is kind of contrary to what he says, but basically that's his way of getting out of it. But the main guy that you follow, he ends up losing his job and ends up with a different job, but now he has to basically give like a percentage of his check to the woman from here on out. So it was very, it's very well, it was a well put together episode, and I truly enjoyed it. And I think it's good. It was good for a good discourse, a good information, good discussion for anybody really. Um, so it was a good show, but it's just one of the few things that have been going on this week. But definitely um, the Doctor Strange, I do suggest, I do recommend. It was actually more of a horror movie than I thought it was going to be. Like, I don't know if I'd want a 5-year-old going to watch Doctor Strange, and like 5 to 10, that might be iffy. There's some, there's some gore in there, but it's a really good, well-made movie. You can't just jump in. Like at this point, if you're going to an MCU movie and you're trying to jump in, if you never watched any of the others, you're out of luck. Like plain and simple. But go watch as much as you can. Honestly, I'll say this: you gotta watch the first Doctor Strange, and whatever phase we're in now, watch those movies and shows. That's all I'll say. Yeah, I mean, this is probably going to be a short show. I expected my guest, but there's certain things like I enjoyed this week. I'm enjoying the NBA playoffs immensely. Um, if you, I don't know who you're a fan of. I'm rooting for the Celtics. Uh, I'm rooting for the Celtics. I'm a big fan of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and so they've been doing well. But just from a talent and storylines point of view, it's been really good. The Memphis Minnesota series was really good. You know, I feel bad for Minnesota fans because that team couldn't hold a lead to save his life. Um, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the Boston Brooklyn series. The that honestly, those were almost all four of them were good games. I mean, I know Boston swept him, but it was all four of them were pretty close, and they were good games, man. Like KD and Kyrie, I don't know if they were on at their best, but they were like the shot making was off the chart with them. They were able to stay in some games because they were able to hit shots that other people can't hit. I'm trying to think what other series I watched. So I watched a little bit of the Pelicans game. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end up. This is probably gonna be a short show today. I didn't expect I didn't expect this to happen. That's cool. You know what? I know what I'm gonna talk to the people who are watching. I did bring this up last week. I am working on a new series that I am trying really hard to get the Kickstarter going for me, but there's some stuff going on in the background for that. If I can't get the Kickstarter done by the time I finish the book is about, I'm gonna say about 90% done. Got a couple more pages to finish, but I'm doing a book called Strong, and Strong is basically the story of the mightiest woman in the Stoked universe. She has massive super strength. She can fly. She's extremely durable. She also has a secret power, but I don't really want to bring it out just yet. I want you to read the book. I've been working on this book since, man, I think I started working on this when COVID hit. I've been looking forward to it. Strong was done mainly because I wanted a superhero that my stepdaughters can look up to. Like I already did Heat, and I love Heat, and Heat is very much semi-autobiographical. Heat is kind of the culmination of things that happen in my life. And if you bought a book from me in a Comic-Con, you've heard this before. But Heat, I take stories and things that have gone on in my life and I funnel it into those stories. Like the first book, Heat, the trade paperback, the first 3 issues was by the way, if you're watching, please feel free to get in the chat. If you have any questions that you want to ask for me, now's the time. I got plenty of time to answer. Because I love talking with people. But anyway, back to Heat. Heat is the story. If you don't know, and if you've never read a book of mine and you're interested and you've seen me talk about Heat, I've used the tagline, Heat is what would it be like if Cam Newton got superpowers? And I use that tagline because it's really about a young man who is kind of aimless in life, but he gets superpowers and he's like, he figures, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be a superhero. And then he ends up making a massive mistake resulting in the death of a civilian. And so he goes from, he goes from very cocky to almost guilt-ridden a bit. So it's kind of the Spider-Man, the every man gets superpowers, starts here ego-wise and is brought here and needs to build his self back up. So that's Heat. And I've been working on Heat since about, actually, I've been working on Heat since about 2016, 2017. It actually started out as a SCAD project. And one day I'll come on here and I'll do the whole thing. But anyway, I started out as a scattered project. I liked the idea so much that I decided to retrofit it into being a superhero. And then I took the idea and I went out and I just did it. So I do all the drawing, all the writing, all the coloring. I do everything, lettering, top to bottom. I'm going to put the website down here. So if you guys are interested while I'm talking, hey, what's good, man? I don't know who Facebook user is, but what's up, my man? Um, but anyway, so yeah, so Heat is basically that story, and I know a lot of people will see the image because a lot of people have come up to me in Comic Cons and say, "Is that you?" It probably is me. I, I mean, and everybody wants to make themselves a superhero, so I made myself a superhero. I have no shame in my game. But the character is very much not like me. He's a lot more. How do I put this? I would say he's way more angry than I am, um, in general, because I the way I look at it is he has all this power and he keeps learning the lesson that you can have all the power in the world, but you can't do or fix everything. So the first miniseries, the first 3 issue miniseries, which has this cover, this beautiful cover. Fun fact about this cover: the I posed for that cover, and my wife took the picture of me uh after we had done like our engagement photos, I believe. Um, so she took the picture. One day I'll show the side by side comparison. But anyway, the first 3 issue miniseries is him dealing with his dealing with his big mistake, learning from it, dealing with his first few supervillains, and you meet his friends, his family. You learn about the city he's in. He inhabits a city called Trinity City, that has its own background and home and own mythologies behind it. But you kind of learn a little bit about all of that in the first 3 issue miniseries. So that's Heat. And I've been working on Heat for a very long time. Like I said, go to visuallystoked.com. If you like it, you can order a copy right now. I did follow that up with Heat, The Black Flame, which is a graphic novel about Heat dealing with a supervillain that he is having the darndest time uh trying to defeat, who seems to be way more powerful than he is and dogs him at almost every step. So and then B, family member of his has cancer, and he's kind of stymied because it seems on both fronts he can't fix it, he can't beat him. So that's the it's a 70-page graphic novel. I worked on that, oh man, what, 2019? It was right before the pandemic. Yeah, it was about right before the year before the pandemic. And that miniseries, once again, I funnel my life into my stories. For those people that don't know, my mom passed from cancer, and around that time, I was trying to find an outlet to deal with kind of what I was feeling at the time, and I used that, and that's where I went with that. So the graphic novel, Heat, The Black Flame. I don't have the image up for it. That's all right. Um, but yeah, you can go online, www.visuallystoked.com. And then the most recent book, Heat #1, graphic, is a beginning of an ongoing series that I am going to try to make a semi-regular thing. The goal is to try and crank out 3 to 4, hopefully 5 issues a year. Once again, I'm doing everything, so bear with me. But this particular issue, is 32 pages. You can get on visuallystoked.com. I did it during the pandemic, and it was during the madness, George Floyd and all that. And once again, I needed a way to funnel all my feelings and my opinions on it. So this particular issue is it begins with a young man who gets pulled over by cops and gets beaten, and Heat, Cameron Clark, the real name for Heat, finds out about it, um, and wants to react one way because he has all this power, but he and his father have this constant push and pull, because that's kind of been an overarching theme of mine in the Heat series, is him and his father. Once again, um, but it's not, I, like I said, I funnel it, but he and his dad is not really Heat and his dad, is really me and my mom, and how my mom and I would kind of agree and disagree, but we were the very much alike, so there would be friction, especially when I was a teenager. And so, but it's him and his dad is a lawyer, and his dad kind of believes in the law and believes that, you know, the law will work out and justice will prevail through the legal system, while Cameron is a 20 something year old guy who knows the legal system is crap and has the power to deal with it, but feels like using that power in that vein shouldn't be done. And so once again, Heat #1, you can go online, you can get it then. But yeah, so for those that don't know, that's my big book. Heat is my baby. I've been working on it for so long, and I plan on continuing to work on it. But Strong, brand new character, same universe, um, is very much a different story. Strong, the initial story, this is a 0 issue. So the goal is to do this, and it does well enough so that I can do a mini series. And I have a young man, Travis Holyfield, who I'm hoping to work with on the mini series. What's up, Travis? Strong is a little different. Strong is about a young woman who encountered tragedy before getting her abilities, and chooses to use hers in a bit more pragmatic way than he. She wants to help people. She doesn't really want to be a superhero, but she can't exactly use her abilities. For those that don't know, in the overarching storyline in the Stoked verse, having superpowers is kind of illegal, so you can't use it. So she has to put on the mask and everything to be a hero, and she's dealing with a personal internal struggle, but keeping up the facade that everything is okay and I'm super strong and I'm flappable. And the 0 issue is very much a getting to know the character through the eyes of a reporter, Tamia Redding, who gets to follow Strong around and ask her questions. So basically, you're learning about Strong, but you're learning about Tamia as she works through her interview with Strong. And this is really a setup. I want to have this series go, and I'm trying to diversify Visually Stoked media and put more product out there. So I'm gonna have Strong available. It'll either be available through the Kickstarter if I can get through this Kickstarter issue, or I'm just gonna set up a pre-order and then take pre-orders, because I don't know that I'm having an issue with Kickstarter people, but I'm working through it. Hopefully I can get it done. Hopefully I can get that finished before that doesn't happen. But yeah, I will be Free Comic Book Day. I will be in Enfield at Matt's Comics and Cards. Excuse me. You can Google it for the address. I don't have the address off the top of my head. I go there so much. I just drive there. But I'll be there signing books. I will have Prince, not Prince the singer, but Prints. I have I have a Black Panther picture that everyone seems to like, and those that know about it, I know some people have said put it on a T-shirt. I don't know if I could put it on a T-shirt. I don't want to get sued by Marvel, so just come buy the print. I have Spider-Man prints. I have Harley Quinn prints. I have Venom prints. I even have Catwoman prints. So come get a print, buy a comic book, come support. And just come buy comics, because I don't care if you're 5 years old or 60 years old. Comics comics are a beautiful thing. They're not just for kids, even though there are kids books. And by the way, Strong is probably the most all ages thing I've written. You can get to any age. There's no nudity or, blood and guts. There's none of that. Not that there's that in Heat, but Heat has a lot more mature themes, whereas Strong is very much an all ages book. So anybody can read it. But yeah, comic books for those that don't know, help me read at a higher level than I actually it helped me read at a higher level than I was. So my vocabulary my vocabulary was enhanced by it. And because I would read it, I'd come across a word that I didn't know. I'd go to my mom. She'd tell me to go to dictionary. So I was constantly going back and forth to the dictionary. So that's how I ended up being so verbose. But I will always champion comic books because they are my first love. My family knows me very well from being a kid, running around with a towel wrapped around my neck and jumping off stuff and trying to break my neck to where I am now, putting out my own comic books and, trying to give other people opportunity to have their own comic books. So yeah, I'm always going to do comic books till my hand falls off. I'm going to keep drawing. I'm going to keep making them. And honestly, I hope you guys, if you bought my comics, thank you. And I appreciate you. And if you haven't, I promise you, you can read it. I try not to make corny books. So I would give it a try, even if you don't like comic books. If you don't like comics, number one, I'm going to ask why. Why don't you like comic books? If you watch the MCU movies, but you don't like comics, that doesn't really make sense to me. Give it a shot. You never know. And if you don't like superheroes, there are plenty of books out that you can read. Plenty of comic books you can read that are a lot more mature, that don't have spandex. I always tell people, if you don't read like Superman or maybe you like The Boys more or something like that, Why the Last Man is a great, Brian K. Vaughan, and oh my gosh, I forgot the artist's name. Oh man, I forgot the artist's name. I'm gonna Google that because I hate when people do that. Why the Last Man artist? I think it's Pia Guerrera. Yes, Pia Guerrera. Pia Guerrera and Brian K. Vaughan. Why the Last Man is basically about if every man on the planet died except for one, and just women were running it. I can't suggest it enough for anybody who wants to try comics but don't like superheroes. Try that book. Preacher is another good one. Preacher is basically if a failed preacher, a failed priest. No, he's not a priest. Yeah, it's priest. Well, anyway, if a failed preacher ended up with this spirit inside of him that's the voice of God. So basically, he can tell people to do something and they have to do it. But there's a lot more to that. There's angels and demons and heaven and hell. I think it's a really good book with really good message. It's definitely for mature audiences, so don't give it to little kids. Man, I'm trying to think of other stuff. Sandman is a great book to read by Neil Gaiman. That's a great book. I'm trying to look at my stuff from over here. Tuskegee Airs. I'm gonna give him shout outs. If you like very anime looking stuff, it's not really superheroes, but they're like it's action adventure. Oh man, trying to think some other good books. But anyway, the point being, you can find something that you like that doesn't necessarily have to be superheroes. There's a ton of stuff out there that you can read. Oh, Ex Machina. Great book. Great book. It's about a guy. It is about a superhero, but it's really more about, like, it's a superhero who decided that he could do more help by becoming the mayor of New York City. And so he gives up being a superhero to become the mayor of New York City. great book. I think it's Brian K. Vaughan again, and Tony Harris. I believe it's Tony Harris as the artist. But yes, please try it. Even if you read books, like if you read books, the jump from reading books to comics is not that great. It's not a great book, not a great leap. The gap is really small. Find a good book, find a good comic book, read it. But yeah, for me, I'm trying to build visually stoked media to be an actual studio. I put this out on Facebook, and I'm gonna put it here because I'm trying my best to hold myself accountable for my goals, and almost by side effect of that is people are holding me accountable because now they're telling me, I'm excited. I pray for you. If you need help, let me know. But I want Visually Stoked Media to be actually with a physical space, to be a studio that's going to be putting out a lot of good stuff. I do graphic design. I can do animation. I do vis effects. I can do a lot of stuff. And I am for hire. So if you need a logo, if you need a flyer, if you need a website built, I can design a website. I can do all of that. And the goal is to have a business and have something where I can do any creative thing I want and also help other people, fulfill, their goals and needs from a creative standpoint. So yeah, if you want to make a children's book, if you want to pay me, I will color, I will draw your children's book. And then we work it out and you get your book and you go on about your business. But I want Visually Stoked Media to be physically in a space with other people working with me, with actual employees, all of that. And I've set a goal for 2 years, and I've tried to make a goal for myself to do 2 to 3 things every day that will help me reach my goal. And it's been kind of weird because ever since I put it out there, some other doors are opening that I wasn't expecting. So yeah, please support, because right now I'm a one-man band and I don't want that to stay that way. There's way too many creative people out there, especially in Connecticut. I am going to be looking for people in Connecticut, especially the Hartford, Windsor, Bloomfield, New Britain, East Hartford area. There's way too much talent that are looking for an opportunity. And if I can create a platform for them to be able to live out their particular creative dreams, that's great. And I've long been influenced by my mother. She started her own business. She started two, Jam and Yam, junior art makers and young art makers. I've been following in her footsteps forever. Joe Young doesn't even know it, but he's been a huge influence in me and what I want to do, because he is way farther down the line than me, and I'm just trying to catch up to him. And then also, I've said it before, the mentor in my head, Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane is I've always admired what he's created, building his business. He built it off the back of one character, basically, which is why Strong wasn't done a while back, because I did the majority of the work for Strong, and then I saw a documentary on Todd McFarlane, and he talked about how he had to focus. He was like, I'm going to focus on Spawn and make Spawn the best that it could be. And I wasn't giving up on Heat at the time, but I really did feel like I needed a break from it to recharge. And now I'm so recharged now. I've got the second issue. I think I got about half of it drawn and mostly colored. So the Heat number 2, the goal is for that to be out in June or July. we'll see. I'm trying to work as hard as I can. The sooner I can finish strong, the faster I can get back to heat. But yes, so that's kind of what's going on with me. I am going to be at some Comic Cons this year. I will be at Terrificon in Mohegan Sun. That's July. I think it's July like 29th or 28, 29, and 30, or 29, 30, and 31. I believe that's it. I will be in Fan Expo Boston. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be at Fan Expo Boston, and I think that's like 2 weeks after Terrificon. I'm trying to get to Dragon Con. I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm trying to do New York Comic Con. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm definitely going to do Rhode Island Comic Con. I enjoyed that last year, and I'm going to do it again this year. What's the other one? I'm going to be doing different little shows here and there. So, please, I will keep everybody up to date on where I'm going to be and what I'm doing. So, please come out and support. And I'm probably going to, we're going to cut this show short today. I didn't know I was going to have to fly solo. That's all right. I got to tell you guys a lot about what I'm doing and where I want to go. And, you got an idea of what my vision is. And, my vision is to make creative things, put them out there, and for people to enjoy them, and bring other talented artists along with me along the way. And I can do that now, sort of, but having a physical space where people can come in and just work together, and we can, work on projects, and I can get them paid too. Like, I'm not trying to ride off people's backs here. I want people to make money doing the creative things that they enjoy, because there's too much, and especially in Connecticut, because growing up, I know for me, I looked around and didn't see a lot of options for myself. And unfortunately, it's still the same way, especially with Blue Sky shutting down recently. There's a void that I believe can be filled, and I'm going to do my best to fill it. And I'm heat is the first step on a has been the first step on a long road to where I want to be, and strong is another step to get there. And hopefully, with you guys support, everybody who's been stepping in and watching a Stoked podcast, or watching Top 5 Live, or buying my books, to everybody. Like, there are people who, and there's too many to name, but who find me at Comic Cons, and I appreciate that. It's weird to me. It's still weird that people like are reading something that's been in my head for so long, and they're enjoying it. And I appreciate you. If I haven't told you, I appreciate you. And I also, to anybody who has ever helped me out from a financial point of view, I don't want to call people out, but I mean, I have no problem. Like, Robert Simpson, Alex Brown, Roy Kellerman, Donald Watson. I'm hopefully I'm not missing any names. You guys have helped me. You guys are my boys. You guys are my friends. You've helped me when I didn't think that there was going to be a way to get what I needed. You guys helped me, and I appreciate it. And you are helping me. And of course, I'm going to give a shout out to my family, to my wife, Tanika Stokes, my stepdaughters, Tiffany and Trinity, and my son, Junior. They are the reason why I'm doing this, and I'm going to continue to keep doing it. I know my wife and I talk about my goals, and I am doing this for me because I want to work for myself, and I want to do something that fulfills me creatively. But I also, and I've said this to her in the past, I want to make something that when my time is up and I'm done, if I want to give it to my kids and let them run it and keep it going, that they can do that. And they'll, if they want to go down that road, if my son gets into it and he wants to do it, I can train him up, because hey, like that's how, generational wealth is created, man. You make something, it starts making money, you make sure your kids can take care of it, and then you let them take care of it. This is Visually Stoked Media is my legacy. And I'm gonna work my hardest to make sure, my kids can be proud of me, my wife can be proud of me, my family, my friends. um, I'm not dying, folks. This is not a declaration of my death. Like, I'm not on my deathbed. I'm just talking to you about my goals and where I want to be. And I'm saying this to you because I want everybody to join me on this road, this creative journey, this financial journey, this um, entrepreneurial journey. Um, I've been doing this for a while and I'm going to keep doing it. So, thank you to everybody who has supported me, who is pledged for a Kickstarter, who bought a book, who talk with me at a Comic-Con. If you stopped and just had a conversation with me at a Comic-Con, I appreciate you. You didn't have to do it, but you did it, and I appreciate it. And I'm looking for into the I'm looking forward to meeting more new people and spending more time with new fans. Oh, absolutely. Before I'm done, because I'm gonna call it quit early this year, this for this show. To all the creative people who, in the industry, who have taken their time to talk with me and help me. Thank you. Uh, Rags Morales, Jamal Eigel, Jim Shooter. Let's see who else. Joseph Michael Linzer, Chris Batista, Christopher Priest, Jim Starlin. Who else? Mark Bagley. uh, got to sit and speak with him for a while. Man, just even the newer guys like Greg Burnham, Greg Ellisay, to my boys, my top five guys, Danny, Morgan. Like, I'm watching y'all and I'm trying to do what you guys do. You guys, I'm gonna say this now because y'all can't talk trash to me. You can't jump on and talk trash. But you guys, you are very good. You are a great influence on me from a business point of view, from a creative point of view. Like, Danny, big ups for you and your shop. We're gonna make that top five episode, the 50th episode happen, the live one. We're gonna make that happen. But you opening your shop, you guys make me want to step my game up, and I appreciate it. And to the creative, like I said, the list of creatives that I talked about, you guys took time out of your day to talk with me and help me and give me knowledge, and I invaluable knowledge. So, I appreciate you. So that's it, man. Like I said, I want you guys to join me on this journey, and I hope you support me along the way. Um, and some good stuff is coming. I'm working on it. I really am. I'm working on some good stuff, and I'm gonna have some big. I'm gonna have some really big announcements later this year. But for now, as always, obviously, Heat is my priority, and then Strong is the up and comer. So, look out for Strong, and please pick up Heat and read the books. Don't just buy the books. A lot of people will say, "Oh, I'm buying it because you signed it, and I'm gonna put it away because it's gonna be worth something." Okay, cool. Buy two books then. Buy one book that you signed and put away, and one that you read, because I really put my heart and soul into everything I do. But that's it, guys. We're gonna make that the Dora interview happen another time. Don't know when. We've got we've got quite a few uh, guests coming up. Sure, you know what? I can actually we can talk about that real quick. Over the next few weeks, I have, and I got to remind myself. Next week, I have. I have. Let me get that out the way. I have Dwayne Robinson, owner and CEO of Animation Comics and Entertainment LLC, comic book creator, young guy. Looking forward to talking to him about his stuff. He'll be on next week. Oh man, who's after that? Oh, that's right. Ro Lamb, writer and creator of Scarlet Ranger. Ro's gonna be on. I'm looking forward to talking to Ro. Like I talk to Ro Lamb on Facebook like all the time, but I've never actually spoken to him. So I'm looking forward to that. To hear about his new book. Hold on, I sent my pile of books. I'll get it later. But Rowan, I believe he's bringing his artist on, and I can't remember the name, and I apologize. I have it somewhere, but I'm looking forward to that show. So that's May 19th, and then I know I've got a couple of people. Hold on, let me get to the calendar. The 26th, I'm gonna have a young lady named Diamond Downs. She is an entrepreneur herself. She has her own line of products. Looking forward to that. And then Kyron Silver on June 2nd. Looking forward to that. For those that don't know, he's the artist writer of StarCore. He's a podcaster. I've been on his podcast, and owner of his own comic label, Tourist Comics. Let's see. After that, I got Bomani Arma, a young man who works with kids using hip hop for their purposes. And then we got a few other people, man. We got people all the way into June. And I'm looking to actually get that extended out into July to get more people on. So if you know anybody who you'd love to hear from, please, comment and let me know, and I'll try to reach out to them because I love having good conversation with good people. So that's about it, folks. That is about it for tonight. Can't believe I made it. I can talk, so I almost made it in an hour. So once again, visuallystoked.com. Go and get Heat. If you have not gotten a copy, please go and get it. You will enjoy it. If you enjoy Spider-Man, if you enjoy Green Lantern, if you enjoyed Black Panther, Into the Spider-Verse, all these things are influences for me for Heat. And then and be on the lookout for Strong. It's going to get out there one way or another, either through Kickstarter or I'm just going to do directly from my website. But that is it. Like I said, next week we will have Dwayne Robinson, and that should be a good one. So you guys have a great Cinco de Mayo. I'll be home. I ain't do nothing. And I don't go out for Cinco de Mayo anymore. But you guys enjoy the rest of your evening and enjoy your weekend. Go see Doctor Strange. Watch Moon Knight. Enjoy the playoffs. Y'all have a great evening. This is Javon Stokes signing out.